Thank you, Chairman Comer. And I want to thank Ranking Member Raskin for this hearing today. In Charleston, South Carolina, we have the Border Patrol Training Academy, so I appreciate your efforts to be here today. I've been to the border, and to say it's eye-opening would be an understatement. I think if most Americans could see what's going on there, they would be shocked and stunned. I want to express my disappointment today with the actions of the Department of Homeland Security. The administration initially tried to block our Border Patrol chiefs from appearing before our Oversight Committee hearing today. DHS was literally trying to obstruct oversight, Mr. Chairman, and that's wrong. So I'm grateful for your leadership today, but also begs the question why the administration would not want you both to testify. As we all know, our Border Patrol chiefs, you guys are on the front lines of the border crisis, and we need to hear from you. The American people need to hear from you. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time the administration or DHS has tried to undermine the truth of what's really happening at the border. Secretary Mayorkas used the now debunked border agent whipping incident to label our Border Patrol agents as racist. I can only imagine how that further tanked morale. Secretary Mayorkas' response to a question of whether or not there was a crisis at the border just last year in November, he said, "We're seeing a significant challenge." When you see over 5 million illegal immigrants come across our border, that's not a challenge. That is a crisis. And we're unwilling, it seems like, to admit that crisis is happening. So after 2 years of gaslighting, obstruction, stonewalling, and lies, we're finally able to hear straight from the source. So I want to thank Chief Modlin and Chief Chavez for being here this morning. I have 3 questions, really, that I want to get to, and I have about 3 minutes left, so not a lot of time, if you'll bear with me. I'm kind of curious about your testimony, your joint testimony today. The funding, you mentioned a couple of different ways that the Border Patrol could be supported, but the funding to construct a border wall was missing from your testimony. Why is that? Either of you can answer.
Congresswoman, thank you for the question. As I said, the Border Patrol would certainly appreciate any increases in funding.
But it was missing from your testimony. And so you both have said today that barriers, walls, whatever we want to call it or nuance it, is needed. So why was it missing from your testimony?
Ma'am, I believe what I testified to was that we would appreciate any increase in personnel, technology,
Did someone
and
from
infrastructure.
DHS tell y'all to remove it from your written testimony that was submitted to oversight? Was there discussion about the wall? Was it going to be in there and then it was taken out? Why was it missing? If it's so needed, and you're saying it in your oral arguments today, and I appreciate it. This is not a gotcha, but it is important. I've been down to the border. I've seen it. Agents, I believe there's a great need to have certain barriers, but why was it missing?
Ma'am, earlier I testified to the effectiveness of it. I was not asked to remove anything about border wall system from my testimony.
Okay. And I do appreciate your comments, because I know that Chief Chavez, you said back in 2019, your testimony, and to the former president, that we need a border barrier. Both of you, in your testimony today, Tohono O'odham Nation, you said, Chief Modlin, that barriers in certain locations are certainly helpful. I would just appreciate in testimony in the future that we have a real conversation, that it's in the written testimony, because it is so important, and many of us know that. Chief Modlin, you mentioned both personnel and technology being needed for the Border Patrol. The hiring process for Border Patrol agents can last over a year, almost a year and a half sometimes. So what are some of the bureaucratic barriers to getting more agents into the Border Patrol?
Thanks again, ma'am. So I would say, one, that is certainly not my area of expertise, but I do know we have worked very hard to narrow that down. When I came in, it was probably closer to 2 years to get into the Border Patrol.
Wow.
I do think there are some things that can be worked on, such as the ability to pass people that already have a background check, say they're in DOD and they've already had a clearance, to have that slide over into the Border Patrol and then not eat up time doing things like that. I also know our academy has narrowed down significantly, and I believe our attrition at the academy is down from 35% to about 10%. So agency-wide, we've recognized we need more people.
How many agents roughly do you guys think the Border Patrol needs right now across?
So the Border Patrol is at about 19,300 or so. Yes,
How
ma'am.
many more do you need? I mean, or what's the staffing shortage number roughly?
So I think a reasonable amount of agents for the Border Patrol would be about 22,000. But again, that would be a headquarters determination, not mine. I certainly know I don't have enough agents within Tucson sector to deal with the flow that we're dealing with.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman, I'll yield back.